I think that what you see a lot of now, certainly in contemporary art, but more broadly, is a kind of desire to be an activist, to have some kind of impact on social life, and to feel that you're doing something that's making some kind of change. And it seems to be something that everybody, from pop stars to novelists, contemporary artists, want to show that they're doing, quite apart from what they're making as art. I think that something that comes out of a kind of deep sense of, first of all, kind of anxiety about what the future might hold, but also really a sense that we don't really have a great deal of control over it. And so when once upon a time, or 100 years ago, even 200 years ago, if you're a creative artist of some sort, you were focused on making something which was good and actually contributed something to the culture of the society that you were in, that itself seemed to be, maybe going somewhere, not necessarily easily, but at least had a sense of what might be possible. Now we've got a situation where overarching everything is this deep sense of anxiety about a very, bleak future, which I think is a cultural feeling, and it's a thing which has grown and grown because maybe there's an absence of anything better on offer. And I think that really does say something about the last 50 years, certainly after all the kind of disasters of the 20th century, but also the end of the Cold War, when when you're thinking, well, maybe there's nothing left to achieve, right? As a liberal society, especially in the West, that means that people kind of turn in on themselves and become much more preoccupied with the negatives and in fact themselves as negative agents. And I think that's what you do see in the culture. There's far less positivity in what people are actually making. There's a lot more cynicism and irony, and that has led on to a kind of deep sense that we must do something. But that kind of becomes almost a kind of something you do separately to actually making anything as an artist yourself.
And JJ, oftentimes a lot of art does seem to blur the line now with activism. It's often trying to tell you a very particular political message. I mean, we're discussing environmentalism on this show today, but you do see that with various different other social justice goals and things like that. What do you think about that?
It's one of I think that what's interesting is it's one of the main messages of activism that people cling to or cleave to, right? So environmentalism is that big thing that everybody can agree on, and climate crisis and climate emergency is the one thing that everybody can be seen to be taking a positive position on. The problem is that there's very little discussion about within it about what we should do, right? So I think one of the main things is I'm quite keen on art which takes social positions on things or political positions on things. But what's really striking at the moment is that whether you're at the Tate or whether you're an artist collective that's just won the Turner Prize, or you're the British Council or the Arts Council, everywhere in the cultural sector, there's only one line to take on these issues. And there's very little actual serious debate about what the alternatives and the options are.